We see a big hornet falling prey to the small ants grasping it, and then we see a young boy sleeping. He woke up with a startle and immediate began tidying up and had breakfast. But then Grady, his dad informed him to grab his hunting pack as he'd be taking him for a hunting expedition, and not long after the hunting trip imminently began. The duo scoured through the forest looking for game as they were going. Grady explained to him the do's and don'ts in the forest, but Blake was lost in his thoughts of the beauty of the forest, and this got Grady slightly angered as he hasn't been paying attention all. According to Grady, the forest is beautiful but also dangerous, and he can only survive if he knows exactly what to do, and as they were still conversing, Grady sighted a deer close by. He quietly got on his knees, but when he was about to shoot, the deer went out of sight. On turning back, he couldn't find Blake, and not knowing Blake, kept on following the deer at close call. He took his position beneath a tree, but instead of the deer, he saw a strange-looking creature. On seeing this, he curiously started stepping back slowly, and on spur of moment, his dad startled him. He scolded him on why he should stray away in this dark forest alone. After scolding him for quite a while, Grady heard growling from the forest. He wasn't sure what was lurking in the forest, so he told Blake to hide in a treehouse nearby. Grady also followed him there, and they hid from whatever was hunting them. Blake was terrified while his dad aimed at the door ready to shoot, and few minutes later, Grady stood up to examine his surroundings and used the scope on his gun to get a clearer view. That was when he saw a decimated carcass of the deer that were hunting earlier. He immediately figured there was a bigger predator at play, but he lied to his son that it was a bear to prevent him from panicking, and they were eventually able to return home safely that night. Blake overheard his dad sending out a distress call, and Grady was on call with Dan. He told Dan that the mythical creature is real and insisted that he saw it in his gun scope. He swore to hunt down the creature, and as Blake steps closer, and something falls, and his father turns around. 30 years later, Blake is now a full-grown man, and he has a beautiful daughter named Ginger. She was playing on the roadside, refusing to get down, and just like his own father, he struggles with his temper, and at home, Charlotte, his wife, gave him a mail, and it was Grady's death certificate. Blake was sad to read the letter, and after ending her call, Charlotte nagged Blake for disturbing her. Blake sat on the table and announced Grady has been officially declared deceased, due to the fact he has been missing for so long now, and this letter confirmed the same. The next day, after Charlotte concluded work for the day, she found Blake seating outside the courthouse. He gave her the lunch he brought, then he inquired if she was happy with their current state. The look on her face already answered the question, and it dawned on him that she and Ginger are the only family he has left, so he feels they should stop their incessant nagging and try to be happy. While they're still here, he suggested it'll be good for all of them if they move to his childhood home, spend the entire summer on vacation there, and she reluctantly agreed, as she'd hate leaving behind the work. The next day, they imminently arrived at Oregon, and Blake couldn't remember Grady's house. He tried checking the map for directions, and Ginger noticed someone camped in the treehouse. The man inquired where they were headed to, and as they talked, it was revealed that he was Dan's son. After chatting, Derek told him he has been going the wrong way, so he opted to take him to Grady's house. Charlotte wasn't comfortable with the idea of him joining, and she went to the back seat. Derek occupied the front seat and told Blake the things he has to come to terms with here. Suddenly, Blake loses control of the steering as he sighted a weird creature on the road. Their truck plummeted into the forest, and they were nearly unconscious. The truck was turned upside down, so Ginger and Charlotte climbed up the window to get out. While this was happening, the creature broke the window, scratching Blake's arm, and not long after, it killed Derek and dragged him away. Blake immediately climbed out through the window, after which he helped his family get down the truck and kept his family close. Then, he quickly led them to Grady's house as they heard growling from the forest. After they got inside, Blake held down the door to make sure the creature can't get in. Almost immediately, he proceeded down to a bunker in the house and turned on the backup generator. Charlotte and Ginger were relieved, and he got upstairs and Ginger hugged him tightly, insisting she wants to go back to San Francisco, and Blake put her to bed. His wife inquired the nature of the creature that was chasing after them, but he was also clueless. He didn't understand how something that looked like an animal can also be standing on its 2 feet. It was like a human, and he barricaded their front door with a wardrobe to hold the door. He brought out Grady's archaic communication system, and using it, he tried to ask for help. He started to show signs of the infection, and first his tooth started falling off. Charlotte noticed the nasty injury in his arm and proceeded to treat it immediately. But then he started sweating profusely and further experienced adverse effects. He started visualizing things that weren't there and developed a heightened sense of hearing. He heard a loud banging from inside, so he got up to check, and to his shock, it was just a spider walking across the wall. On seeing this, he concluded a transformation was happening and started to have a panic attack. With his heightened sense of hearing, he was able to monitor the creature's movement closely. He tracked it down to the side door, but as he placed his ear closer, the creature aggressively grabbed him by the foot, injuring him further, but his wife saved him by stomping it with an axe, and Blake was in a confused state and in excruciating pain. Charlotte consoled him, and few minutes later, he woke up on the couch and tried to find his family. After searching for a short while, he found them in the bunker, where Charlotte was trying to call out for help. She was worried because Blake was ill and stayed by his side, but Blake's vision got blurry. He couldn't hear a word of what she said, and spontaneously, he started gruesomely feeding off his own skin, which left Charlotte bizarrely perturbed, and after feasting on his body, he walked past her like nothing happened. Blake was all in his feelings as he couldn't fathom what was going on with him. Charlotte, regardless, still tried to reach out to him, but she saw he wasn't forthcoming. She spots a car in the driveway and made every attempt possible to jumpstart it. Ginger was inside the car with Blake, but his new look terrified her. Not long after she succeeded in turning on the vehicle, but as they were about to drive away, the werewolves smashed through the windscreen, forcing them to abandon the car and seek refuge. They went atop of greenhouse, and they weren't still safe up there as the werewolf used his claw to tear open the roof. Blake unearthed his family was no longer safe, so he signals Charlotte to take Ginger back inside. Almost immediately, he ran in the opposite direction to lead the creature away from his family, while his wife scarily took Ginger inside the house, and Ginger was angry at her for leaving her dad outside. But she explained he was only trying to protect her, and Blake returned back to the house. As she opened the door and figured he was even more deformed than before, and this scared her. He retched out a severed finger, then he limped towards them, which was even more frightening. But Charlotte kept her cool notwithstanding his terrifying nature, and this made him calm. He started regretting his actions, and the other werewolf busted in almost immediately. The two of them engaged in a dauntingly ferocious battle, and Charlotte saw he was losing. She stabbed the werewolf in its back, and this made it divert its attention to them. It was a face-off between Charlotte and the monster, and Blake intercepted the creature not long after. But it knocked him out and was dragging him away, but Charlotte strikes it continuously with an iron rod. On spur of moment, Blake cornered the creature, but this time he bites its neck and kills it. After obliterating the monster, he looked closely at the tattoo on its arm. He realized that it was his infected father, and he hastily ran out of the house. He started going through the final stages of his transformation into a werewolf. The process weighed on him, making him unable to control himself, and after the transformation was completed, his night vision got ultimately enhanced, and he used it to turn off the backup generator. All of a sudden, he staged an attack on his own family, and to evade him, they ran inside a bar nearby, locked the doors, and in their Charlotte garnered weapons she could use in protecting herself and her child. Blake was relentless as he clawed his way in using his newfound night vision to sneak in. Charlotte had already laid a trap in place, and not long after the bear trap caught Blake's leg. While Charlotte and Ginger seized this opportunity to run away, leaving Blake in excruciating pain. He used his fangs to chew up the part of his foot stuck in the trap, and after successfully biting off his foot, he continued to chase after them while they seek shelter in the treehouse that they sighted earlier on. Blake made his way up the stairs, and as he got up, Charlotte pointed a loaded rifle at him. After taking a moment of affection they had for each other, the family shared a final look, after which Charlotte shot him, and she and her daughter cried of their lost family member. Later, Charlotte got out of the forest along with her daughter,